Hello everybody, this is a hi-fi review of the latest Rega upgrade to the ELEX integrated amplifier. It's the Mark IV and it builds on the LXR. The new features of the ELEX Mk4 are it has casework to match the existing amplifier range, and it has two new digital inputs into the Rega DAC circuitry. Mark IV retains the excellent moving magnet phono stage from the Elicit amplifier, and the headphone output is at the front of the amp. The ELEX Mk4 sits in the middle of the excellent Rega integrated amplifier range, above the brilliant Rega IO and the Rega Brio. It looks up to the Elicit and the stunning Athos in the range. The ELEX Mk4 itself claims 72 watts per channel of class AB muscle in the middle of this impressive range of electronics. This range has continually won HiFi Music Source Outstanding Awards and Highly Recommended Awards. The ELEX has two digital inputs, one coaxial, one Toslink optical, and they are centered around a Wolfson DAC, and a moving magnet phono input. There are additionally four 9-level RCA inputs, outputs to the usual loudspeaker binding post to the rear, and there's a 6.35mm headphone output jack at the front for ease of use. The new Rega casework is very lovely to the touch, and the whole case itself is a heatsink for all of the electronics inside. There's a solid touch to it. The remote control, though, is a slightly plasticky affair, but really it works for me at this price point, and there's absolutely nothing to complain about. These ELAC Carina loudspeakers seem to be a really excellent match to the ELEX. On its 50th anniversary, Dark Side of the Moon really does sound as if it was released just last week. What you really need to know about this amplifier is it has enough presence and staging, for example in the Great Gig in the Sky from the same album. The amplifier bristles with energy. There's plenty of low-end bassline too, for example in Pink Floyd's live version of Sorrow, and most of it is there, and the ELEX is doing a fine job. The tone to me seems to be very evenly balanced across the range. There's excellent resolution too in this amplifier, particularly in the guitar at the beginning of Promise, a track by Ben Howard from his Every Kingdom album. There's great bass control in this track too. The ELEX appears to me to be very revealing indeed. When I switch to an analog input to the ELEX from the Hugo 2 using a fixed output, I get that frisson more of output. This is a huge credit to the ELEX for showing it, just that little difference between the digital platform and the Hugo and its own digital platform. I've just got a fraction more confidence in the DAC performance from the Hugo 2, and a tighter bass presentation is clearly there. I do feel I've got a much cleaner vocal with the Hugo. For example, in Lana Del Rey's latest album, there's a track on there called Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, and the vocal is absolutely terrific in this amplifier. So in summary, everything's there. There's a very balanced tone, there's very good presence and staging, the resolution is excellent, and the vocals appear to me to be very clean indeed, both male and female. On top of this, as we know, we've got an excellent DAC platform, and the analog stage input is very, very clean indeed. Just moving on to the moving magnet phono input in the ELEX, I turn to my trusty Rega RP3 turntable. It's old, it's a bit loose, and it's a bit baggy at the seams, but it still sounds great. I've got a new Elise 2 moving magnet cartridge in there, and that works really well with this ELEX. Indeed, the moving magnet phono input on the ELEX is really no worse than the musical fidelity phono stage that I usually use, or a Rega phono stage, Phono, that I usually use as well. Lana Del Rey's vinyl copy of Chemtrails Over the Country Club sounds as good as perfect, really. It's fresh, it's very clean, and it's very emotional on vinyl. The headphone output from the ELEX is very satisfactory indeed. It kills the speaker output on connection. For me, sort of generally, the output seems to be too loud, and I get that with both the Beyerdynamic DT900 Pros and the Meze Audio 109 Pros. It all just seems a bit too loud for me, and I've had to turn the volume down. Having said all that, all of the detail and the intimacy that you need from headphones are available here, and this is a pretty decent headphone output. So overall, the ELEX, as I've said before, is very musical. It has a nice balanced tone, it's detailed enough and very revealing, and really it's an all-round winner. The message from this review is clear. This is an absolutely superb amplifier at this price, and I cannot recommend it highly enough to an aspiring audiophile who's looking for an entry point in the long term. It's absolutely the definition of outstanding. This review coincides with Record Store Day, and what a gift this would be. There is real value for money with this ELEX, which is not something you see often in this hi-fi industry. What do we wish for with this Rega ELEX amplifier? You can't ask for more than this at this price point. It's an absolutely fabulous bit of kit. What do we like about this amplifier? Well, for a start, it's an amplifier to build around. We like the remote control. It is functional and responsive. The digital platform is excellent, and we really like the moving magnet input. So what do we love about this ELEX Mk4 integrated amplifier? Well, it is incredible value for money, and the performance we're getting in the soundstage is remarkable. The casework is nice and solid, and I really like the understated look of the ELEX. Okay, so that's the outstanding Rega ELEX. If you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.